Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Leo, February 2024 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant, and this month we have a great deck. It's called Spolia. Now, some years ago, the artist said, I'm not going to make any more tarot cards, and so that was it. They went off and did something else. So if you get hold of this deck now, it's probably going to set you back some hundreds of dollars. That's if you can find it at all. But the imagery on it is spectacular. Unfortunately, I have one of these very rare decks, and you are going to enjoy it along with me now. And of course, I've done a number of one-on-one clairvoyant readings for Leos over the course of the last month from different countries around the world by FaceTime and Skype. And if you might be interested to see what's involved in a clairvoyant reading with me, check out the information that's below. Now, independently, I've also done a number of healings as well. Now, clairvoyant readings I charge for. That's one spiritual gift. The other spiritual gift that was given to me at birth is that of healing. But that is given on the condition that I receive nothing in return. I am to provide the healing to those who require it and get nothing of benefit to me. So it's without charge, it's free. There's no catch, there's no obligation. You won't be sold or recommended anything. It is what it is, but you would understand that the healing comes through me and not from me. I've got to say, it's great to see you subscribers back again. I love coming into your home each month. Thank you for welcoming me in. I really enjoy your company. Well, who doesn't enjoy the company of Leo anyway? And the other thing I'll say is this, is that you know, of course, that we do a couple of things. First of all, we only take 5 cards because we spend more than 2 seconds on each card. And the other thing is this, is that we don't have any video advertisements breaking their way into this content. And so you get to enjoy the experience uninterrupted by ads. So let's get it underway for you now, shall we? And show me the magic. What's this first one? The 4 of coins, you're sticking out, so you obviously have something to do there. The Ace of coins. Here is the Moon. Beautiful Moon card. I mean, they're all... Look, you'll see this in just a second. There's the World. The art on here is actually really very beguiling, and you can't help but enjoy it, I think. And what's this one here? You have the Page of Wands. Well, why don't I bring the camera around? You and I can have a good close look at the imagery on these cards together while they speak to you and I'll do the reading for you. What a fantastic swirling mix of cosmic energies around you for this month. Where shall we go? Well, we might do a Z, I think. Is that? Oh, maybe it's a reverse C, almost like the Hindu symbol. Let's have a look at this card here, the 4 of coins. Gee, this is interesting, isn't it? It's very, the first thing that strikes me about this is all these right angles that are in there. They even look like they might be rulers with inches and things, right angles and straight perpendicular lines that are running up there. It's almost it's very structured, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4 coins that are there. Well, this is the Sun, your planet, in the 3rd decan of Capricorn, the 13th to the 21st of January. Well, Capricorns, they are a feet on the ground, eye on the prize sort of person, aren't they? And really a Capricorn, if they've got the Sun in Capricorn, then they've generally got a sort of a sensible, grounded approach to life. And that can be seen with them, really, no matter how challenging the rest of their natal horoscope birth chart is, I might say. But with the Sun in Capricorn here, what's happening for you is your Sun, your Leo Sun, is energizing the Capricorn Earth. It's the cardinal sign of Earth, as you would probably know, Capricorn. And because your Sun is energizing that Capricorn Earth, material benefits and power are the result. Now, what's also the case is that, did you know that your own Sun, where your Sun is in astrology, that's the symbol of your dynamism or your power. And in this case, Capricorn is the putting to practical, useful, beneficial, prosperous purpose that power, making things happen in a useful way. So I see strong foundations here, a stability. Although with these perpendicular lines running around everywhere in the way that they are, it could well be that these right angles, a lot of structure there, it could well be that you're having a tight rein on the budget, feeling financially cautious, perhaps, saving for the future, if it's possible for a Leo to save for the future, and protecting yourself. Now, the formation that's in this card, I think, stark though it is, it really, I think, symbolizes security and strength for you on all levels of being, and the power expressed in this energy is shown in the solid, almost rigid form of the artwork itself. Everything is in its place, isn't it? There's nothing superfluous. There's nothing not needed. There's nothing, no ornaments around decorating the picture. Now, when you submit to a legal or an enforced order, that can have both positive and negative aspects. You see, this is a very compact, closed system with boundaries and solid standards here, and that's presenting, I think, some advantages to you. You see, if you have such attributes, then you will be someone who is able to be depended on, and you will remain unshakably true to your personal principles and conduct all your dealings with absolute integrity. Now, this is, it's got to be said, the rare person that lives out her or his ideals. But another meaning is crystallization, holding rigidly to the letter of the law, becoming a stickler, crusading for your own principles. Your guidelines and commandments can take on a life of their own, to such an extent that upholding the standards seems more important than being alive, vital, and human. Natural impulses in this situation can be suppressed in order not to compromise. Well, you would know, because you're very social, that a cold, stiff politeness can replace real warmth and friendship in some people. I do think, though, that this can be a sanctuary here for you at the moment, where you have the opportunity at this month to find your inner voice. Or it can be materialistic, where you acquire things to show off to other people. It may be that you are being tested in some respect, not to give away your personal power, and you might need to choose about where and to whom you say, yeah, no, I'm not interested in doing that. Now, sometimes you need to shut the doors and the gates to keep such people out, and stay within your inner sanctuary so you don't give too much away. Now, financial and material security is important to you at the moment, and I think you've built up some solid foundation, and you've got the opportunity to acquire assets through sound judgment and investment. Now, you are willing to work for what you want, and you'll have confidence in applying yourself to the world. You're a dependable person who acts with integrity, and I do think that this is saying that you will have the fulfillment of your personal goals and dreams at the moment. Now, I will though say, because again, I'm just getting this very angular look of that card with those lines running around, is your life or your behavior like a rigid puzzle? Or does your life, your behavior, need more order, structure, or solidity? But nevertheless, say this to yourself: And this is a very materialistic time, it's also a very powerful time for you, and say that I offer my power in the service of love. Really such a great time for you this month. By the looks of things, I'm just getting such a good response to these images. The energy is so good. This looks to me like a raven. Now this is the Ace of Coins carrying a coin. Almost as if it's a seed, and this is almost as if it's a seed as well, and it's going to take this seed and plant it, or it could in fact be an item of food that it's taking back to the nest to fill the squawking beak of a little baby bird in the nest. But this is definitely for you the beginning of something tangible. There is, in line with that 4, prosperity and growth here, and a degree of material abundance. Improving finances, may well be a promotion or a pay rise. Good luck and unexpected money or value coming your way. I think you'll have a deep well of grounded, practical, organizational ability, at least for the next few months. Your inner and outer riches are going to balance and reflect one another. There's a great success around here. The unification of body and soul, material and spirit, heaven and earth. A wholeness that's here. Now, body and soul, too long set at odds, they now meet in a harmonic union. Now your body can be treated as the living temple of the soul. And the more deeply you are grounded in your body, the fewer difficulties will arise during this integration process. The deeper your roots reach into the earth, the higher the soul will be able to soar. There's a new consciousness coming to you here. Intended here, I think, with this energy is the possibility of your entrance into a new consciousness and readiness for a life which is externally and internally rich. And this new consciousness brings with it an attitude of continual development, symbolized by, I think, this flying bird which is taking things on and making things happen. Now, aces, as you would be aware probably, they're about new beginnings and opportunity. And in this suit of coins here, which is to do with lifestyle, then it relates to work projects or new beginnings. I'd even extend it to emotional relationships, even though I know that cups do that. This is a very all-encompassing suit in my things. Now, this Ace of Coins really mirrors your readiness to live a life that is inwardly and outwardly rich. All that is needed is already at hand. Give yourself up to the fullness of life and learn to use your wings. Now, what areas of your life would you like to make richer? Work intensively on discovering and developing your potential, your inner wealth. Do what you are good at. Do what you enjoy. If you do what you enjoy, you never work. And remain open for every form of enrichment in your life. And say this to yourself: wealth is my natural condition. I am in harmony with the flow of nature. Wealth allows me to express my spirituality and creative potential in this world. Now, where do we go to next? Well, we'll go down this diagonal. Here we have the moon, number 18. Number 18 is very much the number of initiating things. It's very much the number of magic, 18. It's very much the number of manifestation and making things happen. Now, in this picture, here's a full moon. This looks like a sort of a crescent moon with it here. And here is this person in the middle with these flowers around the outside, a couple of hands. Look, I would say that is the ancient Greek goddess known as Hecate, who is the goddess of transitions and also of institutions, but also of confusion and darkness, and also of the subconscious. Now, the subconscious is very important in this energy because the moon really does denote the subconscious, I think, here. Now, I think that this indicates a journey of some kind for you, although maybe one made at night without the perfect illumination of consciousness. Could be a subconscious journey. Do you know what I mean? There's something going on within you here. It's like you're sort of wandering around in the dark forest at night without any signposts or ways to get out. And you become under the sway of your animal nature, trying to crawl towards the light of certainty. Now, Hecate, she was friends with Persephone. Now, you're probably aware of that myth. Persephone was held captive in the underground by Pluto, as he was known, or at the time, the god of the underworld, as his sort of, female companion, as it were. And so she was friends with her. But Persephone was allowed to get out of the underworld for a few months of the year, and that's why there is spring and summer, because her mum, or her mom, said, who was the goddess of nature, said, I'm happy for nature to come back into play again. And when she had to go back down to the underworld, then we had autumn, fall, winter, and that type of thing. But Hecate was one of the few gods or goddesses that was allowed to go into the underworld and come back out again whenever she wanted to. So Hecate is a good guide to going into this subconscious here. And I do notice that these flowers that are around here, those flowers are jasmine, aren't they? You ladies would know that more than I do. They are night blooming flowers, and these things are probably moonflowers, I suppose, those big things. So jasmine and moonflowers, and they bloom at night. And I think there's a need for you here to make a choice of some kind. Now, the astrology is that of Neptune in Pisces with Venus exalted. Well, Pisces is very much associated with the subconscious, with emotions, with intuition, and also with astrology, interestingly enough. And Neptune's watery depths are associated with dreams, with visions and imagination, which links it in pretty well with the qualities of the moon, I think. This is a period where I think you are going to be looking at a person or a situation, and you're going to be asking yourself, is this really true? Is this really true, or is it an illusion? Do I just want it to be true? Or am I, alternatively, being misled in some respect? Somehow or other, I feel there's a final testing here, some wrong turns. There's an interaction or a struggle with your subconscious, some mental confusion. There's a period here where you're going to lack clarity. And there is, as I say, there's a possibility here of somebody deceiving you. Yeah. This is the process of diving further and deeper into the darker realms of the soul. It is the time of a final and often most difficult testing. The danger of forgetting your true goal in the darkness is very great, and temptations and illusory visions or perceptions, they lurk along the way, ready to lead you down the garden path, so be careful at this time. I think that this does refer to a time when something in your life is not as it appears to be. A situation is deceiving. You could be lost in life or unsure about which way to go, lost in the dark with no signposts after eyes, as I say. But this can often, I think, represent the shadow self, the subconscious or the hidden self, maybe harboring a negativity that you have suppressed, or maybe not even be aware of, that needs to be released because it's creating a destructive energy. And feelings from childhood can very often have been repressed, and they could well be having a negative impact on your current situation. Now, what is the case is I think that you are going to hear the call of the unknown. You are going to be on the threshold of a new experience, so pay attention now to the voice of your heart and calmly look at and carefully examine the offers of assistance and guidance that you might get from other people. Now, we'll go to the end of this, shall we? And see what this is. What are those things? I know what that is. Rings a bell with me. This is the world. And here is an interest. Look, this reminds me, this picture here reminds me of a book that's in the Old Testament, the Christian Old Testament, or the Hebrew Bible, called the Book of Ezekiel. And in chapter 1, Ezekiel the prophet said that, look, he was hanging around, as you did back then, and there was a windstorm came out of the desert, and it was accompanied with flashes of fire, and 4 beings appeared. And this is in chapter 1. And then at verse 10 of chapter 1 of Ezekiel, he said, each of these beings, each of them had a human face at the front. Each of the 4 had the face of a lion on the right. Each of the 4 had the face of an ox on the left. And each of the 4 had the face of an eagle at the back. And then he goes on in 11 and said, such were their faces. Now, you can see this here, that at the face of the front, there was the face of a human. That refers to the fixed sign of air, being Aquarius. To the right, they had the face of a lion, and there's a lion's leg. And that's, as you know, the fixed sign of fire, being Leo. And at the left, there was the face of a bull, and here we have the horns of a bull, which is the fixed sign of earth, being Taurus. And at the back was the face of an eagle, being the exalted form of Scorpio, which is the fixed sign of water. Scorpio has 3 forms: the scorpion, hard, the snake, which talks about fluidity and water, and then, of course, in its exalted form, like steam or air, the eagle. This is where you will be completing something. There's a liberation here from you. You're getting away with something, or something's being lifted from your shoulders. This is the last card of the Major Arcana, and it closes the circle which began with the Fool. Now, I think that you're seeing yourself in the world as it really is, and all the clothes and masks are all kind of becoming unimportant now, because you actually understand what it is that you want and what your original nature is. And you, in a sense, are going to be caught up in the whirling eye of the whirling dance of the universe. And this lady here has what I think looks like the eye of Shiva that's there as well. So there is, I think, I'm just drawn to an old poem I heard years ago. You are the entire universe of love, of delight, of joy. Let me be also thus to you, O coiled light within me. In the light, in the night, let me be the vehicle of your light. Yes, let me be the vehicle of your love. This is talking about the completion of a project. Your efforts are finally paying off. It's been something of a long, hard haul, but you're almost there. It's a reminder for you to finish what you started. And you are learning to take control of your own destiny, and you'll be using the power of your will to get results. You'll be very good at starting things and finishing things off at the same time. And you'll be able to bring change into strongly structured environments as well, I think. And there's a desire to see as much of the world and its people as is possible. I think it's now possible for you to see things as they really are. The stage is set for a new beginning or a favourable completion. The events in your life are in harmony with the universe. Now, from what aspects of your life is it time to free yourself? Is there a journey or a business waiting for you to set it in motion? Trust your perceptions. Make a list of all unfinished situations whose tying off would give you a sense of relief. And say this to yourself: I value deeply making a contribution that makes the world a better place for those around me. I am excited about bringing ideas and creative projects into form because I am at one with the universe. And then finally, probably quickly, because I'm just mindful of your time, we deal with this page of wands that's here. A lot of Leo all over this, and I think that Virgo and Cancer are going to be important to you. Do you know, you're going to have a really wide-ranging appetite for things, situations, and people here. And you're almost going to be entirely reckless in the way in which you obtain gratification of that appetite. You're almost going to be insatiable. You'll be energetic, individualistic, brilliant and daring, and expressive in love or anger. More importantly, this is a time when you are going to be freed from fear. This is speaking of new beginnings, optimism, and increased perceptions around you. Your old fears have lost power over you now, and their dead remains cannot frighten you any longer. So reflect on what are your greatest strengths. People are going to love your character and energy, and you're going to be very sexually attractive to other people, so just bear that in mind. But I will say this: you could actually, maybe here or there, be vengeful, temperamental, or unruly. This is also, as I say, conquering of your old fears and patterns of thought. You've brought them to the surface and conquered them. Although it has to be said, you often learn lessons the hard way, don't you? What's the next step in your life? Find it fearlessly. Learn about ways of transforming fearful feelings. And say this to yourself: as I accept my fear, it is transformed into love. Great character, energy, and attractiveness for you. Well, what a great job you've done.
Well, I told you that the art on these cards was very interesting, didn't I? And very rare, it seems, today. And I hope you enjoyed that reading as much as I enjoyed giving it to you, which I certainly did. It's great to see you, and thank you. Now, the only favour that I'd ask, if you have made it this far, is would you do me the favour of pressing the like button on the way out? That's good for the YouTube computer, as you would understand, and allows people to come and see these readings. Now, of course, unless I see you privately, then the next time I see you will be next month. And so remember that, until then, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.